Hello and welcome to today's Ask Barn2 Anything live Q&A session. Sorry we're a few minutes late starting. My colleague Sam is having some technical problems and is having to restart. Amazingly, that's the first time this has ever happened in a year of running these live streams. So I suppose we're doing pretty well. So he will hopefully join in a minute. So welcome everybody. We do these every month, but this is a special Black Friday one. And this is your chance to ask questions about any of our plugins or anything that we do at Barn2. So you might be watching this on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, or directly on our website. Wherever you're watching it, you can add a comment and we will be able to answer it live. And we can even do things like provide personalized demos and show you exactly how to set things up exactly to your use case. But even more importantly, it is our Black Friday sale. We did a kind of mini sale which started last week, and as of today our full sale is now launched. This is the only site-wide sale that we do all year, and it's just got to its maximum level. So the deal is 40% off all of our plugins, that's individual plugins or multiple plugins, with the discount code BF2024. And also we recently introduced web development services such as new websites, plugin setup services, that kind of thing. And we are offering 20% off those with the coupon service 20. And all of that you can view and order on our website. The link for the deals are barn2.com/black-friday, and that lists everything that we do. It's got those coupon codes again and details, so you can click through to learn more about each thing. But even better than that, we are doing a special deal just for people that are watching our Black Friday webinars, which is that the first 10 people who use the code AAP50 can get 50% off our All Access Pass. So the All Access Pass is for all 19 of our premium plugins. So you get one big bundle of all 19 plugins for 50% off with the code AAP50 instead of the 40% that we're offering to everybody else. So if you're one of the first 10 to get that, then that's a great deal. So let's get into the questions side of things. So actually, I'm going to start with some company news. If you've watched these before, then you'll have known since about June that we're working on a big new live preview add-on for our popular WooCommerce Product Options plugin, and that is going to be launched today. So yeah, keep an eye on our website. We'll soon be changing the product option sales page and also publishing blog posts and social media posts and all of that, telling you that the live preview add-on is now available. And that will allow you to provide live previews, as per the name, of your products. So let's say you've got a t-shirt and you're selling a t-shirt and you've used our product options plugin to provide a file upload field. Well, now you'll be able to allow customers to upload that image and have it previewed on top of the t-shirt picture, so they can see, for example, this jumper I'm wearing. You can see that I've gone on another website, uploaded the Barn2 logo, and so what this new feature will do would be to preview that on the actual image. So that is going live today. I've got a couple of questions from Paige about the sale, so I'll go into that before I get to our pre-submitted questions. So the first one is it all in? I think that question is about multi-site. So with multi-site, which is when you have like a network of multiple websites under a single WordPress installation, you can have multiple sites connected. And if you use our plugins on a multi-site, then basically you need a separate site license for each sub-site. There are some exceptions, because the reason that we set that rule is that if you have a multi-site that you're using for completely separate businesses, like let's say you have a restaurant chain, we would expect you to have a license for each restaurant because it's effectively a separate business. But if you're using multi-site for something else and really you're just one website, like some people use multi-site for translations, for example, get in touch with our support and we'd be able to do that for no extra charge. And Paige has also asked about all-in-one discount for multiple sites. So when you buy any of our plugins, you can see 3 options. So you've got a 1 site option, 5 sites, or 20, and the 40% discount is for any of those options. So you can go for 1 site, 5, or 20. And it's also possible to upgrade in the future. If you just wanted, say, 5 sites now, you could upgrade to 20. But of course, it's Black Friday at the moment, so it would make sense to go for the highest option that you might want. So Paige has given extra information, which is helpful. I have 1 site where I use the list view plugin. I would like to build another site or 3 that are very similar with different inventories. So yeah, even if that's a multi-site, they sound like kind of separate businesses, really separate purposes. So that would require separate licenses. Sounds like you're using the WooCommerce Product Table plugin. And I think, Paige, that you've submitted a question about that, which we will cover later on when we get to the product table section. So that would be for that. Okay, let's go into the questions about specific plugin. Oh no, I have a general question from Anthony, actually. He has asked about Blue Sky support. It took me a minute to figure out what that means. And then I decided that, so Blue Sky is the new social network, which I think is like a clone of Twitter, but slightly different. I think the aim is that it's more positive conversations. And I think he's asking, do we provide support on Blue Sky? And the answer to that is not yet, because it's so new. So each social network, whether you're using it personally or professionally, is a big kind of time investment. So we haven't created a Barn2 account on Blue Sky yet. But if it continues to grow the way it is at the moment, then we would do that. And then you would be able to contact us that way, as you can with X and Facebook and so on. So now we're going to talk about our WooCommerce Product Options plugin. I will demo what the plugin does first. I'm hesitating because it's a Sam's section and he hasn't managed to get in yet. So I will show you how the plugin works. Hey, Sam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me. This is the problem I'm having.
I can.
Okay, great.
Right.
Well,
okay.
assuming that's the case, then we can continue. But unfortunately, the StreamYard page for me is very slow and not reacting to my clicks and actions very quickly. So we will hope for the best. Are we already up to my section now?
Yes, I need to introduce product options because I've talked about it but not actually demoed it. So I'll do that quickly and then you can get to the back end as we talked about. I thought I was going to have to do a whole live stream on my own then.
No, I got you.
Right. So product options, I will share my screen. So WooCommerce Product Options is the one that I just told you that we are about to launch the live preview for today. So it basically lets you add more visual options to your products. And I'll just show you a few of our demo products so you can see what I mean. So this is a pizza. That's quite a common use case. So with WooCommerce, variations normally just appear as drop downs. But with our plugin, you can have radio buttons and checkboxes, as you can see here. I'll go to this product. You can also have conditional logic. So with this tick box, I've used conditional logic to reveal some additional options, nice visual ones, as you can see, when you tick that checkbox above. So that is a good way to make your options more visual while at the same time keeping the page nice and clean and minimal. And another popular use case, which uses 2 of our plugins, is t-shirts. And so here we've got our WooCommerce Bulk Variations plugin, which makes it easier to buy multiple variations at once. And then we've used the Product Options plugin to allow customers to upload image to be appearing on the t-shirt, and also text and things like that with more conditional logic. So Sam, let's go to the first question about product options. And it didn't fit in the caption, so I'm going to show it in two parts before you answer. So Robin says, I need to set up different formulas for various tiles. All of the tiles need to show the cost per square meter, overage, as well as the number of boxes needed. And Robin then says the user should be able to input the length and the width, and then the calculator should output the cost per square meter in rands. Is rands the South African currency?
Yeah, it's South African.
As well as display the number of boxes required. So this is actually quite complex. So have fun, Sam.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to share my screen and pray that everything goes well. We might just have to give it a second for this to work because the platform's been running slowly today. But I created a demo product of tiles for Robin to see how our plugin works. I'm still waiting to see if this sharing screen option is going to work or not. I've clicked all the buttons and I'm just waiting. Yeah, so without the visual, this doesn't really work. But let me send the product to you so you can at least show us, Katie.
Good point. Do you want me to share my screen if you send me the link, and then I can click on the options?
Let's talk through it at least that way.
Yeah. Okay, just clicking on your link. Right, share screen. Marble tiles. You've even created a product. Okay. I'm not logged into the admin. You might need to send me some secret logins, or I could just.
This is my website demo. So when you log in on another tab, maybe, but that's okay. I just wanted to show the front end for now. So this is using our product options plugin, which Katie was just talking about, and I've set up the product as a single product at a certain size, and the boxes could be any number of tiles. But the point is that you're selling tiles by the box, not by the single tile, right? So when somebody spends $50 and buys one box, they're getting effectively less than 1 square meter. So what you need to do is calculate for them how much they're going to be spending to cover their entire floor. And then for you as the seller, you need to know how many boxes to ship, basically, because you're not selling half boxes or single tiles, you're selling whole boxes. So first of all, if a customer inputs any number, like say 100 by 100, which is 1 square meter. Maybe Katie, you can show us that. Then what we're getting here is a price which takes into account the size of one box of tiles. And now it's only now my screen is trying to share. Okay, I'll remove it just in case.
Yeah, I'm in the admin now, so I can show whatever.
Okay. And it's taking into account how much of the area of the floor will be covered by a certain number of boxes. Is it? Yeah. This is really bad. The connection is terrible. Stop screen. There we go. And it took over your one, so we'll have to share your one again.
Oh, okay.
Just add it to stage. Sorry about this technical things, guys. We've done this maybe 12 or 15 of these live streams, and this has never happened before. So unfortunately, it's happening today. All right. So it's taking into account how much of the floor area is covered by one box of tiles, and then multiplying that and rounding up, including a 15% overage, to give you a total, which you can see is $200, which is effectively 4 boxes. So 3 boxes would cover 1 square meter, maybe, but with no overage and without any, basically without rounding up. You could probably do it with 3 boxes. But because of tiling and the way you calculate overages, you should add an extra box. So that's what on the back end, we're going to look at how this is all calculated.
Yep. Shall I do that now?
Yeah, let's jump in there.
Okay, I see you've set up two option groups. Do you want simple or advanced?
Start with simple. We were just looking at the simple one.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So first of all, we need two number inputs for length and width. This is for the customer to add in their own variable. So it's a custom number that they can add. And you, as the designer of this site, you need to specify what measurement they're going to use. In this case, I chose centimeters, but you could also use meters or inches or whatever, just so long as you account for it in the math in the next step, which is a little bit tricky, but you can kind of do some tests and figure it out for yourself once you've gotten there. So the next one is a price formula. And we've built this with the first of all, the formula just takes into account the product price and then what we're calling boxes. And this is basically a custom variable. So if you look down below the formula, there's actually four custom variables. One is just to calculate overage, and that's something that the store owner can update and change at any time. And so that's an extra 15% on top of the required area. And you can inform the customer about this using a text notice or something. So it's just say that every order includes a 15% overage or whatever your store calculation is. And then we have the number of boxes per square meter is being calculated. If one box of tiles covered 1 square meter, this would be redundant. But in this case, we need it because we need to account for the fact that one box doesn't cover 1 square meter yet. So that works out to about 2.7 boxes, and we use that later. And then the area is taking into account the actual variables that the customer put in, the length and the width. Those numbers will change when the customer changes them. We divide by 10,000 to convert it from square centimeters into square meters. That's just a basic math thing. And then we
Sorry,
multiply,
basic.
and then we multiply it by the overage to add 15%, basically. So that's giving us the area that we need to ship, basically. So the customer ordered 1 square meter, we ship 1 square meter plus 15% using this formula. And then the last part is boxes. So we're taking into account the area that we just calculated, and then we're multiplying it by the number of boxes we need, basically, per square meter. So we have square meters for the area multiplied by boxes per square meter to give us the total number of boxes to cover that number of meters. This is not something the customer sees, but it is something that you can show to them in the next version of product options that will be coming up. And the developer, we were chatting today about it, and there's a little bit of custom coding. So we'll get into that once the update comes out, and we'll put it in our knowledge base.
Yeah,
But
this
yeah,
would be a
all of
good
that.
YouTube video, actually, like how to sell
Yeah.
tiles with WooCommerce, because actually this is quite an interesting use case with
Mhm.
multiple factors. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, this is all fun. So basically, if we go back up to the formula, we're just taking the original product price, which is a per box amount, and then we're multiplying it by the number of boxes required, and that gives us our final price. And it also makes it obvious to you and the customer how many boxes you're shipping. Perhaps it's a little simpler. Funny enough, if we show the advanced screen, so I'll share that product with you,
Yeah, that was the
Katie.
simple screen. I'm lost
Funny
already.
enough, the advanced one is actually a little bit simpler in a way because the product is set to 1 square meter instead of being set to some arbitrary
Okay.
number.
Yeah, it's kind of similar without
Yeah.
so many
Um,
variables.
yeah, you can show the front end with the link I just sent you, just so people can see what it looks like first.
The front end. Oh, you've sent me a new link, right? Just a sec.
So in this one,
Okay.
our developer calculated basically 9 tiles times 33 centimeters is 1 square meter. And then he just put the price at $40 per box. So basically it's $40 per box or per square meter. Either way you look at it, it's the same. Same length and width, that's exactly the same. And then the desired pattern is also the overage. So when you pick which pattern you're going to use, you're also picking which overage calculation you want to use. So by using a diamond pattern, you're adding 30% instead of 15% for a square pattern. And then On the back end, the math is a little bit simpler because we don't have to convert boxes to square meters or square meters to boxes. It's all the same. So when we look at the actual price calculation, we're only looking at the overage, which is the chosen value set in the image button. And then we're looking at the area, which we calculate the exact same way and multiply in the overage. And then we just have the boxes, which only takes into account the area because we've already calculated the overage and the boxes, and everything all works out the same. So yeah, sorry if that's really complicated, but for Robin, this is going to be very interesting.
Okay, excellent. So, and I'm going to keep that open. And I'm going to go to the next question, which is sort of related, which is, oh no, actually, this is another question from Robin before we move on. So I would also like to apply this to multiple products that have already been added to my site. Is this possible with your plugin? Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to go back into the admin and show you the top of the page where you create a group of product options. So here, Sam has selected show on specific products or categories, and he's put it on just one product, but he could have selected whole categories. That can be on your existing products and categories. That's not a problem at all. You don't have to create your products after you install our plugin. In fact, it's better to do it the way round that you've done it. So once you create a product options group and select existing products for it, then they will just add them to your existing product pages. So that's perfect.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
Yeah, well, the most hard thing about product options, in fact, the only hard thing, is the price formula, because it's so logical and mathematical and aims to replicate complex things like Excel, which not everybody is.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to mention there's one key thing. It's called it's the ceiling factor. It's a mathematical function, and the ceiling just rounds up to the next highest box. So the next box. So if your customer needs 2.5 boxes, it'll round up to 3. If they need 3.3 boxes, it'll round up to 4. And that's
how do you do that?
Last part in the boxes. So ceiling just brings the box number from a decimal point up to a whole number.
Wow. Okay, that is advanced.
Yeah, and that's in the functions under mathematical functions.
Yeah, so we have provided
we have a whole page about using math functions in our knowledge base. It's called How to Use Math Functions in Price Formulas.
Yeah, these are all things you get in software such as Excel. So as with Excel, you can be very, very clever with it, but you do need to read about how things work or already know it. Okay, and the last question on this plugin is from Mitchell, who wants to know, do selected product options show on the cart and checkout? So while I'm screen sharing, I'm going to add this product to my cart and show you. So I'm going to go view basket, and there's already things in the cart, but here we've got the marble tiles, and you can see that, yes, my product options do appear there. So it's got the length I added, the width, the pattern I selected, and also the custom price. And if I'd done other things like upload images or added my own custom text for different types of product, that would all appear here. And if you use our new live preview, which comes out today, then the preview image will also appear in the cart and checkout.
And Luigi was mentioning how it'll be possible to show like the number of boxes, for example, with a little bit of custom code in the next version.
Excellent. Yeah, which will come out today, 2.2, because we're doing a big release of product options itself at the same time as releasing the live preview add-on. So, and they have to be done together for the compatibility. Okay, let's move on to WooCommerce Bulk Variations. So Sam, you're going to introduce it, but shall I go to it on my site then?
I suppose that's the best way to do it, considering our predicament right now.
Yeah, well, we've already looked at a very similar product to this earlier. So, but if you just talk about what this plugin does.
Yeah, for anyone who just tuned in, I'm experiencing a few technical difficulties, but I'm here to support Katie, so she's not all on her own. All right, so Bulk Variations is a great plugin for people who have multiple variable products, especially products with lots of attributes, and you want a more streamlined way of both editing those products in bulk on the back end and displaying them for customers to choose different variations on the front end. So as you can see, Katie is selecting multiple items which fall under different variations. So she's choosing from colors vertically and sizes horizontally. And if you have more attributes, for example, brand or something else, then it'll appear as a drop-down box within the grid. So it actually packs in all of those variations. Here we have the hoodie example. It packs in all of the different variables into a much more user-friendly way of ordering, rather than using 4 different drop-downs and then having to add to cart and then use the 4 different drop-downs and then add to cart and so on and so forth, which is the typical WooCommerce experience.
Okay,
All right.
and we have one question about this particular plugin, which is from Ali, who says, I have 4 attributes: color, fabric, size, and weight. Each product has variations based on 2 of these attributes. I need to display 2 tables and only allow 2 attributes to be added to the cart. His original message was a bit longer than that, and I shortened it to fit. So basically, he has 4 attributes in his whole store, but each product only uses 2 of them. Like a product might have fabric and weight, for example. So he's saying that can he have those different attributes on different product pages? And the answer is yes. Each product page will automatically show the attributes that are used for the variations on that specific product. So this, on our demo site, you can see this actually. So this product only has 1 attribute, which is the ink color. And then if we go to t-shirt, this has 2 attributes, which are a different type of color. So that's actually a different attribute, even though they're both color. They're used in different ways, which you can do in WooCommerce. And also we've got size. So each product page will only show the attributes relating to the relevant product. So I think that answers that question. So that is the WooCommerce Bulk Variations plugin. Okay, so what's next? We're moving on to WooCommerce Discount Manager, which is good timing because we've just had an additional question about that, which we can get to. So WooCommerce Discount Manager, I'll just go to the demo, Sam, and then you can talk about it.
Mm-hmm. So Discount Manager is a fairly recent one that we added to our collection of plugins. And it solves the problem of basically in WooCommerce, you can't set up store-wide discounts that are also schedulable, that are also based on different types of discount rules, such as bulk discounts or buy one, get one free, or any other kind of variation of discounts that isn't just a standard discount of a percentage or dollar amount. So while you can also set up and schedule typical discounts with percentages or that sort of thing, you can also set up discounts that work based on quantity. So if you buy 5, you get 20% off. If you buy 10, you get 30% off. Those kind of discounts are possible in this plugin. So on the demo page that Katie's showing, there's a number of different discount types. I think it'd be good to show maybe a buy one, get one free, or there's something
get
like
one
that.
Free. Here we go.
Yeah. So there's an option in the plugin to display a banner, which shows what kind of discount is being shown. You can also add any kind of custom content using the visual editor. And when you add multiple items to the cart with the buy one, get one free, it'll show up in the cart as basically the reduced price. This is an example of the bulk discounts. So you can see it shows up in a table layout, which is very handy for customers to see. And yeah, let's jump into the question.
Okay. So Igor says, I need to create a discount of 17 plus 3 products. There is altogether 25 different products priced from €1 to €2. If someone puts 20 products, he will get the cheapest 3 free. Okay, so I will create that discount now to show you how to do it. So I'm going to go into the admin of this plugin, which for some reason I'm not logged into. So I'll just do that.
And then switch to that tab when you're ready.
I'm just doing it in the same tab.
Ah.
Right, so it's under marketing discounts. And I'm going to add a new discount. And Igor wants to give away products. So when people buy 17 products, which they're paying for, they want to get 3 of those products for free. So I'm going to select free products and click create. And then I'm just going to call it Igor's discounts. You can call it whatever you want because it's just internal. So firstly, you can choose which products will use this discount. So you might want it to be store-wide so that any 20 products you buy, 3 of them will be free. Or you could choose selected products or categories so you might want to do it on accessories, for example, which I'm going to do. So now as we scroll down, number of paid products required would be 17 in this case, which would give away 3 free products. And the next option is how should the discount be applied? If you select like-for-like products only, then you'd have to buy 17 of the same product in order to get 3 free. That's a tongue twister. So I'm going to choose any product selected above, which means that if you buy any 20 accessories, then 3 of them will be free of charge. And there's also some other options like certain user roles only or something like that, which aren't so relevant here. You can also schedule that deal. So if you're doing your Black Friday sale, maybe you don't want to start till Black Friday and you might want to end on Cyber Monday. So I'm going to schedule that sale to work like that. And that would be midnight by the time zone, which is set for your WordPress website. And then we've got the product page content. So you could say by 20, no, it's by 17, isn't it? And get free. And you can add like emojis and things like that. And if your theme comes with short codes or boxes or anything that you can use to jazz that up a bit, then you can use whatever's available in your theme here to make it stand out. And you can choose where on the product page that will appear. And you can also add a cart notice. So I've written, congrats, you've received 3 free products. So that just kind of reassures the customer that they're getting the deal which they were expecting. And so they're hopefully more likely to complete the purchase. So that is how to achieve that in WooCommerce Discount Manager.
Katie, I have a quick comment there. First of all, if you're testing this plugin and you want to test your discount, do not set the date for in advance. Set it for either today or just have it always available. So when you're testing it, it works. Because if you set it in the future and you have it active, it still won't work until that future date arrives. And the other thing I wanted to ask as a follow-up is when a customer is adding their 17th product into their cart, are they then prompted to add 3 more, or do they just have to know they need to add 20, or do they first add 20 and then they get 3 free?
Yeah, they're not prompted, which is why you need to display the product page content and things like that on your website. If think about it like a supermarket, if you've got a buy one, get one free deal in the supermarket, you just have to read the sign, don't you? The cashier at the end is not going to say, or they very rarely say, did you know if you pick up another one, it will be free? That's kind of, some do that, but it's not the norm. So I try and think of it as that analogy. And the other option for testing would be to use a staging site, which I suppose would always be advisable. And then you don't need to worry about accidentally putting something on live that isn't ready just because you're testing or something like that. The other question about this plugin was, can I add a discount to a custom taxonomy? The answer to that is not currently. So when we were looking a minute ago at which products we could select, I'm going to select some specific products. Oh, which one is a variable product? You can choose at variations. I think this is launched. Yeah, it's launched, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. It was so recent that we added this feature. So you can select all products, specific products or categories or variations. So here I've selected a variable product, and this is a fairly new feature. You can also select specific variations and choose which variations the discount will be used on. Technically, an attribute is a taxonomy. So I suppose my answer is yes, but only in the context of attributes which are used for variations, not other types of custom taxonomy which you've added yourself using a custom fields plugin or something like that. I think that's a feature request, so we're tracking the amount of demand for that, but it's not possible at the moment. So what did we have after discount manager? A product table, which I think Paige is using. So WooCommerce product table. I suppose I'll need to demo this as well, won't I?
Yeah. Sorry, Katie, you're the tech.
Who have I put to demo product table? Oh, I put that for me anyway, so I'll do that by myself. So WooCommerce Product Table is our biggest selling plugin of all time, and it takes your WooCommerce products and displays them in a searchable, sortable table with filters like this one. So with this product table, you can either have this on your main shop pages in WooCommerce, or you can add it to any other page, like just a random blog post or another page you've created. And it provides a faster way to shop. So you can see in this table that there's a lot more product information visible all at once. And I'll show you some other examples to show different uses of it. So this one has even more product information. It's got tags, reviews, stock, all sorts of things which may not normally appear on the shop page. And we've also got things like quick add to cart checkboxes, and you can choose variations and quantities, none of which you can do from the main shop page normally. So, and there's also like the filters, there's a search box depending on your table. So here we've got a search box that we can narrow it down for a search term. So it's a very different way for customers to shop. And I'd recommend it for products that aren't super visual, I would say, where information and data is more important than what the product looks like. And examples of that might be anything you're selling on a wholesale basis. And we also have a wholesale plugin, which we'll get to in a minute. Electronics products, things like that. Anything that might require a quick order form layout. And Paige has said, any idea if I can opt to not show images on the list view? Yes. I wonder if I've got an example. I probably don't.
I think you just had one at the bottom there.
Was there? I thought it had one. Yeah, that's got images. They're just really tiny because you can change the size. But yeah, basically, I'll show you actually.
Form. Yeah.
We have a new table. Look at all these dashboard updates. That's no use. Anyway, product table. I will go to create a new table so you can see how flexible it is. Look at Elementor taking over the world. No, thank you. So I'm going to give my table a name. I can choose whether to add it to a normal page or whether I just want it to appear globally on all my shop pages. And then you can choose what products you want to include. But now we get to the column section, which is pages question. So by default, it's added these 5 columns just because they're the most common, but you click that and it's gone. So now we have a table with no images. And we also have lots and lots and lots of other columns that you can add. This list will change depending on what taxonomies and attributes and so on you've got in your store. So things like skill level, like I've got here, is specific to this particular store. So you can add all sorts of columns. And we're actually about to release a big update. I think it's version 4.2 of WooCommerce Product Table, which will allow you to merge multiple columns into a single column for a different way of displaying them. So yes, you don't have to show images in your list view. And that is the product table plugin. And a quick comment from Barbara that it's so easy to use. Thank you. We've did a lot of work on the table builder because previously you had to use shortcodes to set your columns and so on. So we knew we needed a more visual way to create those columns, and hopefully it is a lot easier to use. So now we have a question about two plugins, and so we're going to introduce them both before we get to the question. So we will go to WooCommerce Wholesale Pro first.
So WooCommerce Wholesale Pro, as the name implies, is for wholesalers, and it's a plugin. It's a very capable plugin, and the main feature is that it allows you to create two separate sections for your store: a publicly available section with normal public prices, and a wholesale section where prices can be the same or they can be reduced. And then, of course, you can have your wholesale customers set up their accounts, and you can assign them roles. For example, they could be in a tiered structure: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And depending on their specific role within your customer base, they would be assigned a certain discount percentage. And that could be applied store wide, or it could be applied to certain categories of products. So basically, some of your customers could get a bigger discount than others depending on what you assign to them. Now, there is another plugin that we have, which is WooCommerce Protected Categories. Is that the next one?
Yep, just go in there.
Cool. Now, this is a little bit of a simpler plugin in a sense that what you can do with this plugin is you can also create a wholesale private store essentially, but instead of having a public facing section and a private section for wholesale users, this plugin doesn't really fit that use case as well as Wholesale Pro does. It's more just for having a completely protected site or set of categories for certain users. So,
Oh, we're
I'm not
mixing
sure
up
if you
two
want to-
plugins because I originally got them confused when I wrote the notes earlier. They asked
Uh-huh.
about private store.
Oh, they asked about
Um,
private store. Okay,
They
got
did,
it.
yeah. Yeah, and I misread it earlier when I wrote the note. So private store is even simpler again.
hmm Yeah, private store. It's as far as I'm. It's been a while since I made a video about this, but as far as I recall, it's really just for making your entire store private with a login option for customers. If you want to add to that, Katie.
Yep, so there's three ways that people can unlock the
Mm,
private store. So for this use case, we're assuming that you are a wholesale only store and you do not sell to the public, and you don't even want your products to be visible to the public. If you do, you need to use our Wholesale Pro plugin. Private store simply takes all the WooCommerce functionality of your website and hides it. And to unlock it, you can either enter a password, which I think I've already done, so it's already unlocked, but that should have taken me to a password entry page. And the password option is for if you don't want people to have a user account. But to be honest, for a wholesale store, these are regular buyers, so they're going to have a user account on your site, in which case you can use the user login option. So when somebody logs into their account on your WooCommerce store, it will unlock, and you can choose which user roles it will unlock for, or just unlock it for all of them. So it's much simpler. It doesn't have wholesale registration. It doesn't have the ability to charge different prices to different users. It just hides your store. So think about what your requirements are for a wholesale store and choose whichever plugin is best for you.
let's
So,
talk about Barbara's situation and figure out which one is right for her.
yeah, well, Barbara hasn't provided. Oh, excellent. She's provided. I was just going to say she hasn't provided much detail than she did. So Barbara is building a store that can only be accessed by logged in clients, but she also wants to store on the same site, which is a catalog for the public. Well, that means that Wholesale Pro is definitely the plugin for you, because you set your normal prices for normal public customers in the way you always do in WooCommerce, and you also use WooCommerce Wholesale Pro to set prices for your logged in wholesale users. You could just have one wholesale role. That's what the majority of stores do. And then you can either set an automatic discount percentage that will be given to those users, or there are more fine-grained options like setting a different price for each product for wholesale users. But to run both sites, both types of store on the same site, you need WooCommerce Wholesale Pro.
Yeah,
And
she has a
Barbara does
follow-up
not want to
question.
build 2 stores. Yeah, that's often a problem. Like, you could also use WordPress multi-site to do this, but you don't want a separate store. So that's the beauty of WooCommerce Wholesale Pro, because it's just one store and you don't have to do anything more complex. And can I completely hide the price for the public? Yes, there is a hide price until login option. It's either on the WooCommerce Wholesale Pro settings page, or if you just want to hide prices for specific categories, then we recently added a feature so that you can do that per category as well. And that way, non-logged in users won't even see prices or add to cart buttons. And Barbara's agreeing that multi-sites has a lot of inconveniences, such as backing up. That's true. It's just not that efficient or easy to manage. So you kind of want one store with public and wholesale customers on the same store. And the question which Barbara pre-submitted was, for what Wholesale Pro and or private store, can I use SSO to log into those protected stores using Keycloak as a provider? So basically, WooCommerce Wholesale Pro uses the WordPress user login system, and it doesn't do the login itself. It just controls access and so on. So that means that you can use anything that WordPress has available to have more technical ways of logging in. And I did a quick look up and found a plugin on WordPress.org called Mini Orange Login with Eve Online Google Facebook. That's the worst name ever, but anyway, so that's the plugin. If you I typed something like SSO and Keycloak into WordPress.org or Google and found that, which had good reviews, and there was a few others as well. So you can use any plugin that allows you to log into WordPress user accounts, and that will work just fine with Wholesale Pro. There's not going to be any compatibility issues, because it's the WordPress user login that's not coming from our plugin. Oh, she's already looking at Mini Orange, so that's perfect. If there are any incompatibilities, can I get back to your support? Yeah, that's fine. We offer full support. But like I said, I don't foresee any, because our plugin doesn't affect the actual logging in at all. So I don't see any reason there would be. But yes, we do provide support with that kind of thing. So that's
Awesome. Katie, let's remind people what we're really doing here today, which is reminding you guys that we have launched our entire full Black Friday sale today. So it's 40% off for the entire base of plugins that we offer. And for you guys watching today, we actually do also have a special offer, which is 50% off for the first 10 people to use that code AAP50, which is just for the all access pass. Sorry, I should have been more specific. 40% off any individual plugins or bundles of plugins, and 50% for the all access pass if you're using that specific code, which we're just giving to you guys here on the live stream. So we haven't actually sent that out to the other customers, just for you guys.
Okay, so the next plugin we were going to talk about is, actually, I'll just check another comment. So Barbara's replied, all sounds great. I'll be one of those AAP 50 people. Does it come with a 30 days tryout? It comes with a 30-day money back guarantee, like all of our plugins. So it's essentially yes, because if you're not happy for any reason, you just contact support and get a refund. But yeah, between now and Monday, when the sale ends, is the best time to start that 30 days.
And I've made a few videos about it. So if you're wondering about how to do the setup, you can follow those tutorials on the channel. Just search for Wholesale on Barn2 YouTube channel, and you should find it very easily.
Okay, so the next plugin we're going to talk about is WooCommerce Multiple Email Recipients. And
This is more of a niche.
Yeah, it's also not very visual, is it? So I'm just thinking, what's the best way to demonstrate it? Because
I sent a
it
few
doesn't
links
even have.
that I had to open for myself, but perhaps better if you try.
Oh yeah, so you've sent me 2 links. I'll go to the first one.
One is for the settings page for the plugin, and the other is for the email tab under WooCommerce. So this plugin, it's AAP 50 doesn't seem to be working on the checkout, says Lee. Should we just quickly divert and talk about that?
Well, do you want to talk about multiple email, and I'll check that quickly. We did have somebody mention that on Friday's live stream, and they were trying to buy an individual plugin. It's only for the all access pass, but I will log in now and just double check. There's nothing wrong with that code.
Cool. So this is the settings page for WooCommerce multiple email recipients, and the key setting that that we want to set here is how many different email addresses we can send them to. We can send these email notifications to. So WooCommerce by default sends notification emails to the customer when they make a purchase and they've entered their email in the checkout process. So they get a notification about having purchased your product. This is an automatic process. But what they don't have is the option to also send that email to other people, like, for example, your supplier. If you are drop shipping or you just have multiple steps in your supply chain, you want to send those notifications to people who need to know. So that's basically what our email is providing you with the option for. And if you look in the normal WooCommerce emails and you click on any of them, like a new order, and click on manage, our plugin adds more email addresses as an option for the recipients. So you can send the same email, the same notification to a bunch of different recipients who all need to know about this particular step in the process of the order process. Again, it's not a super visual plugin, yes, but basically the point is it allows you to send that same notification email out to as many people as you need to for them to fulfill the order. And it has one other function, right? I'm just blanking on.
I think you covered both, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've talked about adding multiple email addresses for customers, and you've also talked about admin. So that was the 2 functions. So we had a question.
So basically, customers can add more than one email if they want to in their accounts.
Yeah. So it's things like if your customers are often manually forwarding their emails to their finance colleagues, for example, for finance purposes, you can have it happen automatically by allowing them to add finance as a second email address or that kind of thing. So actually, we've answered the question because Dan just wanted more info about this plugin, which we have provided. So if you're watching live, Dan, then send any further questions. But that's the general overview of how it works. So
if you
I think
if you are trying to get a discount today and you're just looking for 1 or 2 plugins, the plugin bundle or something, then the normal Black Friday discount code, which is on the website, is what you need. If you're getting the all access pass, then AAP 50 is what you need.
Yeah, I'll just put the Black Friday link back up. Yeah, so the person, Lee, who was having the problem, I've confirmed the code is definitely working. So 10 people haven't used it yet. So but it has to be the all access pass. If you've got something else, then use BF 2024, which you can see at the top of our website. So you won't miss that. And that's 40% off. So we're about to finish. We've got through all the questions. So anybody who's watching live, feel free to quickly add a question now. And we will get to that before we finish. So Barbara's got a final question. because she doesn't know if any of our plugins would do this. I'm looking for an easy way to hide the price of a product when looking at the product page, like clicking on a button to show or hide the price. I'd say that's probably just some simple custom CSS to do that. I don't think there are any plugins that specifically let you click to reveal the price. With WooCommerce Wholesale Pro, the hide price until login option will allow you to add some alternate content which will appear instead of the price for customers who don't have access to view the price. So you can say put a link to your login page in there and that will appear where the price normally appears. So exactly what Barbara is describing isn't possible in any of our plugins, but given the previous information about Barbara's use case and wholesale, I'd say you can probably achieve what you need with just the alternate content field.
Yeah, the only exception is in our product options plugin, when you enable the price calculator, it won't show a price until the input fields have been filled in. But that's a very different use case, so I wouldn't recommend it in this particular case.
Yeah. Lee has commented that the Elite 50 code says $250, but it's pounds in checkout. So Elite 50 is a secret discount code just for our email subscribers, which was emailed earlier today, but whatever. And that is 50% if you spend $250. And Lee's pointed out that actually it's pounds in checkout. That sounds like a multi-currency issue with our site. So £250 is more than $250, I believe. So I think maybe reach out to our support and they can give you an additional discount code for the amount that you want to spend, because it wouldn't be fair to make you spend more. So email support@barn2.com and say that there's an error with this, and realistically that sounds complex to fix, so I don't think we're going to be able to do that before Monday. So yeah, we will do that for you individually and anybody else obviously who has currency issues. So Barbara's used more information about her use case, which is a person shows the page to a client of his, but he doesn't want to show the price that he would be paying himself. Yeah, that's an interesting use case. So a wholesaler would show, if they were logged into their account, then the wholesale price would be shown to the client, wouldn't it? So we don't want to, so they don't want them to see that, like that they get 30% off, because they're going to be charging the recommended retail price to their client. So I would say use the hide price until login option for that, so that when they're with their client, they are not logged into their account. Or if you've got, I think Barbara said she had a separate retail store as well, because she'd be running both on the same WordPress site. So in that case, you could just show the retail price. You don't even need to hide the price, do you? You just don't want the wholesale price to be visible.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of managing, access, let's say, managing access. So if the person is not logged in and they see the full price, or they don't see a price, then that's one way to do it. You could duplicate the product and remove the price, but I think that's going to create too many duplicates of products that it's too hard to manage.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to avoid with not doing multi-site and stuff. So yeah, I think what the plugin is, the way the plugin already works, should be fine for that scenario.
Coding it might be the way to go.
Okay, so I think another comment. Barbara says, depends. My wholesale clients are a bit dumb. I'll try coding it. You know, another option, Barbara, would be to use WooCommerce Product Table. So when you buy Wholesale Pro, you'll see that it's available on its own or with Product Table as a 2-plugin bundle. And with Product Table, as we saw in response to Paige's question earlier, you can hide any columns that you don't want to show. So you could hide the price column from your main shop pages. So that's, unless they actually click through to the product page, then that wouldn't show the wholesale price. but they might click through because they're a bit dumb, as you say. So have a think about all the options we've discussed. Right, well, I think that is all of the questions then.
Thank you to everyone who joined us today and commented, left your questions, and hopefully we answered all of them for you. It was really a fun stream to go through and get all these comments. I'm really sorry about the technical issues I was facing, but it didn't stop us. Well done, Katie. So yeah, thanks. And we have a few more streams coming up, a few more chances for you to ask questions before the end of the sale. So if you're still not 100% sure, you can leave those questions for our next live stream, and we'll do our best to get through all of them.
Yeah, and we have another question, which I will just answer quickly, and that's absolutely fine. So Lucas is asking, can I use the protected category plugin on any WordPress site? So we have two protected categories plugin. Password protected categories is for any WordPress site. You can use that for blog posts, normal pages if you've added a way to categorize pages, any custom taxonomy or custom post type. So if you were using an events plugin that had event categories, you could use those to create with our plugin to create protected events categories. If you were using other e-commerce plugins like Easy Digital Downloads or something, you can protect those categories. So password protected categories is for any WordPress site. WooCommerce protected categories is just for WooCommerce product categories. So think about which one you want, but they're very, very similar plugins and they work in the same way. And we've got a thank you from Barbara. Thanks so much for such a personalized webinar. It has helped me a lot. And yeah, we will be back on Friday, which is Black Friday. The deals, in case you're worried about if you're buying now, the deals we'll be giving on Friday are the same as what we have given on this webinar. So we will be answering more questions. We're happy to provide more personalized demos and advice. So if you are interested in any more questions or anything, either send them to support before Friday or come along on Friday. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been great, and I think 142 people are watching live now. So hopefully see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye-bye.